good afternoon. Hope you all are safe and healthy. On behalf of the IMC Ladies Wing, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our members and guests for this event. A very warm welcome to our guest speakers, Mr. Kapil Ghosh, Mr. Sandeep Datta, Ms. Emily Chiu. South Korea is a dream destination for the wanderer, an engaging, welcoming place where the dazzling benefits of a fully industrialized, high-tech nation are balanced alongside a reverence for tradition and the ways of old Asia. Taiwan, often overlooked by the general masses flocking to Asia, is a stunning island on the fringe of Southeast Asia and is home to some of the most glorious sights anywhere on the continent, with its pristine lakes, exciting mountain ranges, and dramatic coastlines. Our guest speakers today will take us on a virtual journey to the wide range of places to visit in Korea and Taiwan that will appeal to almost every conceivable kind of traveler, exploring wondrous vistas, lively traditions, and a culture as luxuriant as Jade Mountain on a sunny day. Before we begin, on behalf of the IMC Ladies Wing, I would like to present Giriraj Travel Agency, an e-certificate from Grove Trees consisting of a ticket of 10 trees planted in your honor as a token of our appreciation and gratitude. Here's presenting the Travel and Excursion Committee for the year 2020-2021, held by Vice President Nishreen Khorakiwala, Chairperson Neela Parikh, Co-Chairperson Rajeshri Mirani, Advisory Smita Dandekar and Arti Sanghi, and members Natasha Mehta, Rekha Tanna, and Smita Sanghvi. May I now request Neela Parikh, Chairperson of the committee, to take the event forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to the event today. I would like to introduce Giriraj Travel Agency. Giriraj Travel Agency has provided travel solutions since 1990. In past, they have successfully curated numerous tour packages, domestic as well as international, for individuals, couples, and groups of various sizes, catering to their specific needs. Apart from tour packages, they also do all sorts of travel arrangements. They believe in improving, evolving, and refining their services to meet their travelers' specific needs. Now, may I request Mr. Kapil Ghosh from Giriraj Travel Agency to take the event forward. I would like to thank the Travel and Excursion Committee for their wholehearted support and cooperation they have extended in organizing this event. Welcome, Kapil. Will you please come in?
Thank you, Ms. Neela Parikh. Thank you, everyone. A very good afternoon to all the esteemed ladies of the IMC Ladies Wing. We thank the President, Mrs. Anuja Mittal, Chairperson of the Travel Committee, Mrs. Neela Parikh, and Mrs. Rekha Tanna for giving us this wonderful opportunity to organize this event for you to present the two countries, which are absolutely enchanting in many ways. We at Giriraj Travel are delighted and honored to present in front of the oldest and most successful ladies business organization in India. It may seem hard to find the humor in such a widespread, devastating crisis. However, there's humor all around if you pay attention. Laughter relaxes our body, boosts the immune system, triggers the release of endorphins, protects the heart and burns calories, and so does traveling. Remember that happiness is a way of travel, not a destination. We at Giriraj Travel are here to provide you with the first step towards traveling virtually, and hope that one day when everything gets to normal, we will be able to do it in person. Here, Mrs. Emily Chiu will take you to a virtual tour from the beautiful gorges of Tarupur to the ancient Buddhist temples of Taiwan. She represents Giriraj Travel in Taiwan and has devoted herself in the hospitality industry for the nearly 15 years. She has a lot of experience with Indian guests. She likes Indian culture, fascinated by Indian wedding and festivals, enjoys Indian food, a little less spicy, and hope to be able to visit India again. Without further ado, let's begin with the virtual tour. Over to you, Emily.
Thank you. Video, please. Thank you, Kapil. Namaste. Good afternoon, ladies. My name is Emily Chu, and I come from Taiwan. It is my true privilege and pleasure to be able to meet all of you and to introduce my beautiful country, Taiwan, to all of you. Well, before I start, I would like to say that India is about 90 times bigger than Taiwan. So you may wonder what Taiwan can offer. Please allow me to introduce with this presentation. And once again, thank you so much for organizing this a wonderful occasion for us to meet virtually. Taiwan, it sounds like a faraway country, but actually it is closer than you think. It's a big island, sits in the heart of Asia. From India, you can fly from Delhi. It's only 7 hours, and it's very easy to reach the neighboring countries within a few hours. For example, you can fly to Japan in 3 hours, 3.5 hours to Singapore and South Korea, or 2 hours to Manila. The time difference is 2.5 hours, so, and we are ahead of our India time. So right now in Taiwan, it's like 6 p.m. here, and the average temperature is from 22 to 27 Celsius degrees. I would say it's quite pleasant to visit all year round. So here with this map, you can see some iconic buildings in this island. So you can see the Taipei 101 Tower, you see the hot air balloons, and you see the ocean. Taiwan is surrounded by ocean. So 70% of Taiwan are beautiful nature. And this is Taipei city. Taipei is the capital city of Taiwan. It's a very vital city. So everything you can expect from an international big city, you can find here in Taiwan. And right in front of you, this is Taipei 101 Tower, the city landmark. By the name 101, you will know it's 101 floors, stories, the skyscraper. Actually, it was the tallest building in the world until early 2010. And when after this pandemic, when you visit Taiwan, you will be able to take the fast speed elevator to get up to the top floor and to see Taipei from a bird's eye and to see the city view. And this is the beautiful evening sunset view of Taipei city. Taipei city I would like to mention that it's not only full of energy, but it is also very safe, especially for ladies. Even you walk on the street in the midnight, totally no problem. And right here in front of you, this is the National Palace Museum in Taipei City. It's one of the top museums in the world and houses more than 650,000 pieces of Chinese imperial collections. And the age of those precious collections cover thousands of years, including porcelain, pottery, bronze, paintings, calligraphy, bronze, furniture, curio, all belong to the Chinese imperial families. So no matter what your special interest is, I'm sure you will find a piece that you like. And this is Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall and Freedom Plaza. By the name Chiang Kai-shek, it's our late president. So you can imagine this monument was built to memorize our late president. The two buildings with the orange roof right in front of you is the National Concert Hall and the National Theater. Nowadays, this Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall also plays the role like the Taipei citizens' backyard garden. So when you visit Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall and the Freedom Plaza, you will see the Taipei citizens doing Tai Chi movements or practice the youngsters practice their dancing, their steps, and you are more than welcome to join them. And this is the Lover's Bridge in Danshui area. Danshui is a town by the Danshui River and harbor. So it's very nice and enjoyable that you can walk slowly, leisurely, and see the harbor view just right in front of you. And this is Taroko Gorge. Taroko Gorge in eastern Taiwan. It's one of the very few marble gorge in the world, full of lush greeneries and also the stones and the beautiful rivers and the nice trails for you to walk about. This is Yellow Jewel Park. It's only about 1 hour drive from Taipei City Center. What you can expect from here, the real fossils just right under beneath your feet, and the rocks in interesting formation. And the rocks in different formation are formed by the wind and sea abrasion. The one right in front of you is called the Queen's Head. Do you think it looks like the Queen's Head? And okay, now we talk about the cherry blossom. You may not imagine that you can see the cherry blossom in Taiwan, but actually, yes, you can. In Taiwan, you can see the cherry blossom from January to April. In Taipei City and Greater Taipei in the north, you can see the cherry blossom in January and February. And in Middle Taiwan, you can see the cherry blossom in March and April. And this is the two towers, the colorful towers right in front of you is in Kaohsiung. This is the biggest city in southern Taiwan and also the second largest and dynamic city in Taiwan. So the towers right in front of you is called the Dragon and Tiger Pagodas. For us, we always we walk into the dragon's mouth and then exit from the tiger's mouth. I hope after this pandemic, you will be able to experience this by yourself. This is the Love River in Kaohsiung City. We hold this dragon boat competition every year during the Dragon Boat Festival. And this is the historical Chicken Tower. It was built by the Dutch people in the 16th century. Tainan is also my hometown. It's famous for the delicious cuisine. Many local people, they even drive or take the train to visit Tainan just for the food and see the historical sites. And also Tainan was the first capital city of Taiwan. This beautiful Chicken Tower is full of the beautiful details. You can see the roof and the bricks and also the stone plates under beneath this Chicken Tower. And this one, Chime Museum, it actually was a private owned museum, but the owner donated this beautiful museum with the large collections to the government and open it to the public. And what I would like to especially mention is the owner, he also has a special interest to play the violin. So he also, he's very generous and to lend his precious violins to the violinists who are not able to have one of their own. And this is the Buddhist Memorial Hall in Kaohsiung County. As you may know, the majority of Taiwanese people are the Buddhist. So you can see the giant bronze Buddha statue and the 8 pagodas on both sides. And this is the Mount Jade, the highest mountain in Taiwan. It's 3,952 meters high. If you like outdoors activities, Taiwan is just the right place for you to visit because we have more than 260 mountains that is over 3,000 meters high. And you can see the when during the winter time, the floors is very beautiful and the snow. Now we talk about the food. Taiwan, I would say, introduce Taiwan is the food paradise. Not only we can offer the local Taiwanese cuisine. And when Chiang Kai-shek retreated from China to Taiwan back to 1949, 2 million people, soldiers and the chefs from the different provinces follow him to Taiwan. So you can find many different type of Chinese food in Taiwan as well. The local people in Taiwan are also very open to the foreign cuisine. So we have a lot of Indian restaurants here in Taiwan, the Japanese, Korean, Italian, French, the Mediterranean. So you can find many delicious food to eat. You can also try the street food, just a few coins, or you can enjoy the Michelin star cuisine. And I would like to especially mention, if you feel like to have the home taste in Taiwan, there are many Indian restaurants in Taiwan. They are mostly owned and operated by Indians with Indian chefs, so it's authentic taste. And now we speak of the festivals in Taiwan. Like it is in India, we also follow a lunar calendar. So to name some major festivals in Taiwan, for example, like the Sky Lantern Festival, you can use the Chinese brush pens to write your wishes on the Sky Lantern, set it to the sky and wish your dreams come true. And like the Dragon Boat Festival or the full-on sand sculpture festivals, you can not only enjoy the sun and the beach and swimming, but you can also get to see the huge sand sculptures. And also we have the Ghost Festival. Please don't feel scared. The Ghost Festival is the day, it's the time that we memorize our ancestors as well and to send our offerings. And we also have the hot springs, carnival, and cycling festivals. Now we speak about the shopping. Taiwan is a very nice place to shop around. There is no tourist trap in Taiwan, and most of the shops, they take the credit cards, and also the you can bargain with the street vendors. But in Taiwan, why I mentioned there is no tourist trap, because you can bargain. It's like a 5% or so. We don't mark the price very high and leave the space for you to cut. This is a Ximending shopping area where you can find here the clothes, shoes, accessories, and eateries. And this is also Ximending. They open till midnight and move with movie theaters. And this is the famous Shilin Night Market in Taipei City. In Taiwan, there are hundreds and hundreds of night markets. Each city, every town, there are many, many night markets. Mostly the night markets are about food. You can also buy the shoes, accessories, clothing, toys, everything you can find here. And this is another famous night market in Keelung. And now I want to share some fun facts with you. Taiwan was rated one of the safest Asian countries for female travelers. And also Kaohsiung, the biggest city in the south, was also ranked as the young capital city on the rise, and also one of the top cities to visit. So all of these fun facts, they are just printed letters. What I wish is that you will be able to come to Taiwan and see this jewel of Asia by yourself after the pandemic. Thank you very much. Shukriya.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
After this wonderful journey to Taiwan, we will continue to South Korea, which is another fascinating place to visit. Mr. Sandeep Datta will take you on this journey, virtual journey of South Korea. He's a travel industry professional with over 14 years of diversified experience in operations, sales, and marketing, namely international destination marketing. He has been associated with the KPO as the marketing manager for India and SAARC since 2014. Sandeep enjoys traveling, be it work or pleasure, and shares a keen interest in subjects of international geopolitics and technology. Over to you, Sandeep.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I hope everybody can see and hear me clearly. Before I go any further, let me first of all share my screen so that you can check out, see the presentation that we have prepared. Okay, I hope the presentation is visible to everyone. Good evening, everyone. Once again, I thank IMC Ladies Wing for giving us this opportunity to present South Korea in a manner that you can get to know the facts and the updates of the destination. I am Sandeep. I work for the Korea Tourism as the marketing manager in India, and one of our key responsibilities is to promote South Korea for tourism purposes. So without further ado, let me start off. First of all, I want to say that South Korea is a very, very complementing destination when combined with Taiwan. I just saw the presentation of Taiwan right now, and I personally would like to visit as soon as possible. Want to start off with a very interesting fact of how you can relate Korea with Taiwan. If you see the map, if you see the global map, you will see that South Korea is located in the eastern part of the globe, sandwiched between China and Japan. Even though it is a peninsula with 3 sides of water and 1 side of land, but the northern part of the peninsula is North Korea, which is a closed country without any travel access from South Korea. So technically, you can actually think of South Korea like an island, just like Taiwan. So it's an island which can be accessed through flight or by cruise. Of course, cruise is too far from India, so flight is the only option. Very well connected with Taiwan and from India as well. Just like India, South Korea has been blessed with all the 4 climatic conditions, which are clearly distinguishable from each other. However, the times are a bit different. If you see the presentation slide, you can see currently we are in the full blossom. Cherry blossom is in full swing right now. It is in full blossom. Spring goes on till May, where the temperatures are around 10 to 15 degrees, very pleasant. The summers in Korea are also great to visit because the temperatures rarely go above 30 degrees. So anything below 30 is always pleasant for Indian people. Autumn is back to spring kind of weather, 10 to 15 degrees, but the scenario completely changes. Instead of the cherry blossom, you will see the autumn fall leaves everywhere. Just like Taiwan, South Korea is also 70% mountainous. So your eyesight will be always a delight with autumn colors from top to bottom. Of course, if you are interested in really good snow, then or winter climatic conditions, then December to February is extremely cold in South Korea, temperatures ranging from 0 to minus. And it's a good time for visiting South Korea to experience snow and winter sports. We start with Seoul, which is the capital city of South Korea. If you see the map, it is located in the northwest part of the country. It is a city which brings everything together at one place, from shopping to nightlife to entertainment to attractions to culture and history and everything. The highlight of any visit to South Korea in the Seoul city is the Gyeongbokgung Palace, which is the largest palace of the 5 palaces that are there in the city with a history of more than 5,000 years. One of the very well preserved palaces is complemented by a visit to Cheongdaegung Palace, which is a smaller palace in size, but perhaps the most beautiful size palace in all of South Korea. Again, very, very historic, very, very pristine. And during a sightseeing visit, there is a third palace that is also included, which is called Doksegung Palace. These 3 palaces are located in the downtown of South Korea in Seoul city, within a square kilometer of 5 kilometers. So they're not far from each other. They are from the 3 different eras, 3 different dynasties, even though looking similar from a distance, have very distinguishing features which the tour guides are able to explain and mesmerize you while you're there. Take a short walk from the palaces, you reach to Bukchon Halok village. This is a traditional village, the last of its kind, which has been preserved and maintained like a cultural heritage site in the city center of Seoul. Seoul, as we all know, is a skyscraper city with a lot of high towers and modern infrastructure. But right in the middle of that, you can find a Halok village, preserved with almost 600 to 700 years of history, maintained in a way that it is attractive for tourism. You can stop here for tea or coffee, for a Korean tea session, or just walk or stroll by the area and take a glimpse of the beauty. Complementing the Taipei 101 is Lotte World Tower in Seoul. This is the 5th largest tower in the world, longest tower in the world. And again, the highlight of this tower is that on the 119th floor, which is around 550 meters from the ground, is a glass-bottomed observatory. It takes a minute by the exclusive elevator to reach on top. And while you're there, you can walk on the glass-bottomed observatory to experience, flying in sky pretty high, around half a kilometer from the ground. SM Town is something which is very, very popular with the young generation these days, because this is connected to the Korean wave, the Korean popular music, and the Korean popular dramas. Korean music, K-pop, K-drama is, getting a lot of traction, a lot of popularity in Indian subcontinent also these days. Especially during the lockdowns, there has been a tremendous increase in the demand of Korean drama and Korean content. People who follow Korean celebrities or Korean content, they would love to visit SM Town, because this is like the mecca of K-pop music, where you can see all your celebrities put together at one place, learn about their life, take photos with their live idols, or experience a live concert through, not a live concert, but a virtual hologram concert, which looks like a live performance. Before the Lotte World Tower, the highest point in the city was En Seoul Tower. That crown has been taken away from the monument, but of course the attraction is still attractive, in the sense that you go on top of a small hill or a mountain and then take an observatory to go on top of the En Seoul Tower, from where you can see a 360-degree view of the entire city. And if you're lucky on a bright, clear sky day, you can also almost witness the North Korea-South Korea border, which is roughly around 70 kilometers away from the point, from the En Seoul Tower. Cherry blossom is a very, very popular activity in South Korea. And cherry blossom, as I said, is in completely full bloom today, right now, in the month of May and March and April. Cherry blossom spans the entire continent, spans the entire peninsula. The entire South Korea experiences cherry blossom. However, the timings are different. So there's a dedicated cherry blossom trail that one can do if one is there in the right time in the country. However, if somebody is restricted to Seoul city only, then also you can experience cherry blossom in its full beauty, because there are 5 areas in Seoul city which are, which are a tourist attraction site for cherry blossom because of its infrastructure and the way all the cherry blossom layout has been done. So even if you visit only the Seoul city, you can experience cherry blossom in its full glory in South Korea. Cheonggyecheon Stream is a very, very interesting landmark of the country. It was basically a river tributary which was used like a drainage during the Industrial Revolution in the 1970s. It was as dirty and as filthy as the Yamuna River in Delhi is right now. But the government took steps. They completely revolutionized the whole thing, and they've converted it into a living monument. And the water that you see here is actually, drinkable. The drainage flows below it, and it is a site where everyone in the city center, after a hard days of work, can dip their feet and relax for a bit. This is something which we encourage tourists to also do. When groups from India travel to South Korea, after a full day sightseeing tour, we ask them to, take a coffee, grab a takeaway coffee and dip their feet in the water and take a break before heading off for dinner. When our Prime Minister Modi visited South Korea in 2016, his visit particularly included a visit to the Cheonggyecheon Stream, because this is what a comparison was done with the Sabarmati riverfront and the Gomti River riverfront in Lucknow, with the rehabilitation kind of project that has been done. Of course, shopping is something that people love to do when they're in Seoul city. There are a lot of shopping options. Myeongdong Street is one of the most popular ones, where you can check out all the brands, all the local brands of South Korea, and also a lot of international brands also. If you're not a fan of brands, but you want to get something very local from the city or local from the country, then the Dongdaemun market, again, pretty much walkable distance. If not walkable, then 5 minutes drive from Myeongdong is Dongdaemun market, where you can buy traditional market items, all clothing items, fashion items, cosmetic items, and a lot of wholesale items also at a very, very discounted price. Dongdaemun market also houses a modern part where you have an array of shopping malls which are lined and open till 4 a.m. in the morning. This is especially very useful for groups who are at a very, very tight schedule, because from morning till evening, they're on a fixed program and they hardly have any free time to buy something that they like. This place comes in very handy, because no matter what time you come back from dinner, you can always take a taxi, especially if you're staying in the city center area. You can always take a taxi and head to the Dongdaemun market, which is around 5-10 minutes away, and shop till 4 a.m. and come back. Another last market which is extremely popular for tourists is Namdaemun market. This is where you can do all your souvenir shoppings. If you go and want to come back with a lot of stuff that you want to give away to your friends and family, then a visit to the Namdaemun market is an absolute must. Now, a visit to South Korea in Seoul city is incomplete, in my personal opinion, if you miss out on a visit to the demilitarized zone. This is the border between North Korea and South Korea, perhaps the world's most heavily guarded border. Very interesting, obviously, has a lot of history. The country got divided at this point during the Korean War in the 1950s. The travel between the two countries is completely restricted. One cannot cross the border and go to the other side. But this is the closest that you can come to the border and see North Korea and their village and their people. When you are at the location, one of the most interesting things that you can do is take the third infiltration tunnel at the demilitarized zone and walk all the way to North Korea. This is a very deep tunnel, almost 150 meters deep in the ground, was dug by the North Korean soldiers during the Korean War. Of course, after a point when North Korea starts, you cannot go beyond, it is restricted, but it is the point where you can touch North Korea and come back. It is always a good memory to share once you're back with your friends and family. When you're at the location, a lot of explanation has been done for people to understand the Korean War. It is a sensitive topic for the local public, so a lot of care has been taken to ensure that the story is said in a right manner of what actually took place during the time. Nevertheless, a lot of historical sites and remains of the Korean War are still preserved in a way that you can see what really happened almost 70 years ago. And of course, you finish the visit with the highlight, which is a visit to the Dora Observatory, from where you can see the North Korean village, the North Korean flag, and the leader's statue on the other side of the border. A very, very interesting place, and a very, very place of extreme historical significance. When world leaders travel to South Korea, they always go to this point. Second city that we promote in India is Busan, which is the second largest city. If you see the map, it is located down south. This is a city which I personally like to compare a lot with Mumbai because it is a skyscraper city on one side and the ocean on the other side. A city famous for its seafood, its beaches, and a lot of ancient Buddhist temples. Of course, starting with beaches, the Haeundae beach is almost similar to the Bondi beach of Australia. It is a tourist haven, and of course, a local's favorite spot also. It is pretty crowded almost entire of the year except the winters. But if you're in Busan, then a stroll at this beach or grabbing a bite at a restaurant with this view is absolutely recommended. As I said earlier, the cherry blossom trails follows the entire Korean peninsula and the entire of South Korea. So in Busan also, there is a lot of cherry blossom activities that happen. And if you're at the right time, at the right place, then you can catch the Jinhae Cherry Blossom Festival. This is a 2-kilometer stretch where entire cherry blossom is in full bloom, very, very popular with the locals and international tourists. As I mentioned, the more south you go in the peninsula, the more of Buddhism and more of Buddhist history that you can experience. And Busan, being the southernmost point, has a lot of Buddhist history. Few of the most ancient Buddhist temples in the Korean peninsula are located here. Very beautiful with coastline on one side and the mountain on the other. Bomyosa Temple is just an example, one of the very popular ones that you can visit. And then there is Kamchon Cultural Village. This is similar to the Santorini of Greece and island of Greece with cliffside on one side and ocean on the other. The entire site that you see here is basically a refugee colony from the 1970 Korean War, when people migrated and ran and came all the way to the down south of Busan, and this is where they settled. Of course, a lot of rehabilitation and renovation has been done, and the site has been completely modified into a tourist haven now, with a lot of cafes, cosmetic shops, boutiques for shopping, and of course, a lot of Instagram content. So, during a sightseeing tour of Busan, a couple of hours of free time here is always recommended by a travel agent to a tourist group. Of course, if you're going to South Korea and if you have Busan in your mind, then we always recommend to control on your shopping urges to wait till you reach Busan, because Busan is the place where we house the Shinsegae Centrum City. This is the world's largest shopping departmental store. We often associate the largest shopping malls to Dubai, which usually is the case, but this place holds the Guinness Book of World Records to have the largest infrastructure for duty-free shopping, for regular shopping, with 1,100 plus stores of all kind. So this is absolute must visit if you are into shopping and we want to buy something special when you come back for your return to India. Bay 101 is a popular location from where you can grab a small yacht or a boat for a quick ride into the ocean. If you want to do a evening party or evening gathering with your or social gathering with your members, have a wine and cheese ceremony, or even in fact, if you want to do a dinner, you can do that through booking one of the yachts or boats at the Bay 101 in Busan. Gwangwan Bridge, iconic monument site in Busan. The reason that we included this slide was to give you a comparison with the Worli Sea Link. So the Worli Sea Link, the original bridge on which the Worli Sea Link has been built is the Gwangwan Bridge in Busan. The Worli Sea Link project was a collab between with South Korea, where South Korea gave inputs on through this bridge that they had constructed. Some other sites when you're doing a sightseeing in Busan is you can your bus takes you on top of a cliff where you walk the Uryokdo skywalk, and you can see the cliff. You can see the ocean below your feet. You can stop at Taejongdae Park, which is a very, very iconic location for a lot of film shootings for Korean movies and international Hollywood movies. So again, people who are into Korean drama, Korean movies, they would absolutely recognize this place at one go, and they would love to go there and take a photo stop for their memories. The last place that we promote in India is Jeju Island. If you see the map, Jeju Island is located down south of the Korean peninsula from from South Korea. It is an island which is almost twice the size of Singapore. So yes, it is a pretty big island, but the half of the island is completely preserved for natural beauty, and only the shorelines are occupied by local population. It is an island with a lot, which was originally a volcanic eruption, now has a lot of prehistoric volcanic remains. And of course, the highlight of the visit to this island is the central largest volcano in South Korea, which is the Halasan Mountain and the Halasan volcano. An entire trekking route has been prepared so as to ensure that people from all age groups are able to walk comfortably to the top. However, I must admit that this is a very, very long walk. It almost takes half a day to go on top. So if somebody is particularly interested on hiking, then we recommend this, otherwise not. If you cannot go to the Mount Halasan, then you can always go to the Sonsang Inchulbong Peak. This is a mini volcano. It is just 500 steps to the top, but it is an iconic place in Jeju Island where you can go to the top and take a selfie with the crater behind you. Not a lot of places in the world where you can do that, climb a volcano that is, but in Jeju Island, of course, you can do. Bear in mind, there are no cable cars. The only option is to walk to the top. If somebody is unable to walk to the top, then a photo stop at the base is also iconic. And at the base, there is a special event that takes place 2 times in a day, which is basically Hanyo. Hanyo are women sea divers who go down without wearing any oxygen equipment and dive up to 20 meters in the water and pick seafood and they bring that back on top. Why this is unique is that all the ladies, first of all, it's only ladies who do it, and all the ladies who are doing it are all 80 years above age. Most of them are 90 above, and some of them also on the verge of touching a century. And they are the last of their kind. They're the last remaining generation who are into this business, and they are protected cultural heritage of South Korea. Of course, when they are gone, nobody else will be continuing to do this, but till they are there, they are protected, and they are, their sense of their pride for the country. If as a group you want to visit them and meet them, then an interaction with them can also be arranged, where you can talk to them, learn about their life, and they can also serve you whatever fish that they had caught or whatever sea urchin or seafood that they had caught live in front of you with some chili sauce. So if you are into raw food tasting, then this is one place that you will definitely like to remember. Jeju Island, being a volcanic island, has a lot of pristine beauty. As I said earlier, most of the island has been preserved in a way to ensure that natural beauty is maintained all throughout. So the island is a complete contrast to Jeju, to Busan and Seoul, where you see a lot of modern infrastructure, a lot of mountains, a lot of skyscrapers and all of that. None of that in Jeju Island. Jeju Island is a natural paradise, and that island it will be turning completely carbon neutral by 2030. Even now, almost 90% of the transportation is electric powered or natural or wind powered or natural gas powered. But the effort is to be completely fossil fuel free for all purposes by 2030. Few other sites, Chonjeon Falls. There are 5 famous waterfalls in the island. This is one of them. Sesokok Estuary. This is a estuary which connects to the ocean at one point. A boat ride here is very, very recommended for groups as an interesting adventure activity. Manjangul Cave is one of the longest lava tubes in the world, almost 13 kilometers long, 1 kilometer open for public, where you can see the habitation, natural climatic conditions and habitation inside a lava tube formed millions of years ago. Songup Folk Village is a cultural village preserved in a way that you can see almost 400, 500 years of history and how ancient Jeju people used to live, what were their lifestyle, what are the food that they used to eat, and what were the cultural attributes, and all of that you can learn. If you are there in the evening, then there are cultural performances that you can enjoy. Follow up with a local authentic cuisine experience within the folk village. If you're an adventure lover, then the Udo submarine tour is the deepest tourist submarine in the world. It goes all the way to the bedrock of the ocean, where you can see shipwreck, you can see corals, you can see a lot of marine life. Almost 50 to 60 people can be accommodated in the submarine at one go. And the entire process has, English narration going on, so you understand what you're seeing. The process involves taking a boat, going to the middle of the ocean to take the submarine, then going down, then coming back and taking the boat again. Entire duration of the tour is around 2-3 hours, but it is very, very adventurous, very, very enjoyable. Now, before I end, I just wanted to mention 4 festivals that whenever you are traveling, if you are able to connect your visit to these, it can only make your experience better, not worse. Of course, if you're during the spring, then catching the cherry blossom is one of the must things that you can do. If you're there in the summers, then make sure you travel during the Hangang Summer Festival, which is a youth festival, happens at multiple places in the country, where a lot of cultural performances happen in the outdoor amphitheaters, completely free of cost. If you're in the autumn season, and if you're able to catch the International Firework Festival, this is a very, very glamorous show that happens in Seoul in October or November. And if you're in the winters, if you're in November especially, which is like Delhi winter, you can catch out the Seoul Lantern Festival. This happens in the entire Cheonggyecheon stream that I shared earlier, the renovated, rehabilitated stream, and a very, very wonderful sight to see. A very important point to cover before I end is the food. Now, Korean local food is very, very palatable to Indian audience because it is principally a combination of rice, vegetable, and meat. Of course, kimchi will be always with every meal. It is the national food of the country. And Korean food is usually fried or spicy, so it is, palatable to the Indian tongue. But if somebody has, would want to prefer some homely food, then there are 100+ Indian-friendly restaurants all over the country, which include Indian restaurants, Indian-friendly restaurants, which have food without beef and pork, halal restaurants which abide by halal guidelines, and vegan and vegetarian restaurants. For the convenience of Indian tourists, we have in fact compiled a guidebook which is available as a hard copy, or you can download from the internet, as a PDF, which enlists all the restaurants at one place with their names, their capacity, their food, their menu, their price, everything at one point, everything at one place, making it very, very easy for you to choose where you want to travel and what you want to eat. Before I end, this is a snapshot of a trip that was done by Giriraj Travels to Korea for Cherry Blossom. Of course, KTU as a tourism board has been, and Giriraj Travels are partners. We support each other whenever there is a requirement and whenever there is any help that we can do. We're more than happy to assist in a way that we make every visit of Giriraj Travels to South Korea enjoyable. With that, I will end my presentation with the contact credentials of Giriraj Travel Agency. Kapil, is it okay for me to stop share screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you for taking us through this fascinating journey of South Korea. As all good things come to an end, this virtual journey is no different. I take this opportunity to thank everyone in the IMC Ladies Wing who have full interest and virtually travel with us in the blissful journey. We hope that very soon we will overcome this pandemic, and when things start to get normal, we will be traveling around the world. We also hope that you have enjoyed this presentation. A special thanks to the Travel and Excursion Committee for their efforts and unflinching support and coordination to make this presentation possible. Our heartfelt thanks to viewers for active participation. With his warm words and a kind message, we move to the end of today's virtual tour.